Let's begin.
My husband's grandmother is almost 103 years old and completely has her wits about her. She's also one of the healthiest people I have ever met in my life. This is what she said about being sick growing up. And it might be a little bit controversial.
How often did you get sick?
Get sick?
Yeah, did you get sick very often?
Nah. We had the measles. I think we had the mumps.
So you didn't have vaccines. You got the measles.
She's also mentioned that she never knew anyone who died from them, which is not what we hear today.
We had them, we had measles.
Yeah.
We had the mumps. Yeah. And where we got them, I guess, I don't know. Well, you get over them. You just don't go to the doctor and run every time.
Yeah.
We got over them.
Things that make you go,
I know where she's coming from. I never get sick.
Okay, all these red lines you see here are a grid made up of 8 interconnected radar bases, which all had these giant green microwave beams shooting out of them. The radar bases that produce them the most are KCBW in Hodgson, Maine, KVAX at Moody Air Force Base in Georgia, KGRR in Grand Rapids, Michigan, KEWX in New Braunfels, Texas, KDLH in Duluth, Minnesota, KPUX in Boone, Colorado, KBIS in Bismarck, North Dakota, and way off in the distance there, KTFX in Great Falls, Montana. Together, these radar bases always have storm systems rotating around them, focused around them, spirals spinning around them, big cyclones wafting around them. They create giant walls of microwave spirals spinning from one radar base to the next. This radar base always builds long cloud walls that direct Arctic air down into the lower 48 states. And all the weather locks right into this grid every single week on the weekly weather warcast. All your weather is owned.
You know, it really does make you wonder how much manipulation is done to not only the weather, but Earth and people in general.
This has been concealed for centuries. The real purpose of the Eiffel Tower is something far beyond what you've been told. Most people believe it's nothing more than a symbol of Parisian culture or a product of the industrial era. The truth? The Eiffel Tower was designed as a massive antenna, an instrument for wireless electricity experiments, and its secrets could have revolutionized the world. The year was 1889, and the tower was unveiled at the Paris World's Fair, touted as a temporary exhibit. But here's where it gets strange. The true intent behind this engineering marvel was hidden in plain sight. Nikola Tesla visited Paris in the 1880s. During his stay, he met with Gustav Eiffel and shared his groundbreaking vision for a world powered by free, wireless energy. Tesla had already proven with his Wardenclyffe Tower that electricity could be transmitted wirelessly across vast distances. Eiffel, utterly fascinated by Tesla's revolutionary ideas, took these principles and incorporated them into the design of the Eiffel Tower. This was not just about aesthetics. This was about power, real power. During the tower's construction, strange phenomena were reported. Electromagnetic anomalies, unexplained lights, and strange sparks were seen surrounding the tower. Locals spoke of nighttime experiments, and some even claimed to have witnessed orbs of light dancing around the structure. Why hasn't this been exposed? This has been concealed for centuries. The real purpose of the Eiffel Tower is something far beyond what you've been told. Most people believe it's nothing more than a symbol of Parisian culture or a product of the industrial era. The truth? The Eiffel Tower was designed as a massive antenna, an instrument for wireless electricity experiments, and its secrets could have revolutionized the world. The year was 1889, and the tower was unveiled at the Paris World's Fair, touted as a temporary exhibit.
Actually makes sense to me.
God is the creator of the universe. He's never not going to create. So it's always been something in my mind to say, well, how can we be the only ones? Like, God's not going to stop creating just with us. But the more I look into this, the more I see the Old Testament and what was told to us there of fallen angels and Nephilim. I mean, this is in the Bible. There's nothing that says that fallen angels, that Nephilim just disappeared. And so I believe that this could be an aspect of it. You know, there are things that we have seen that could resemble portals. And, you know, I mean, we serve an infinite God, a God of the universe. And to say that this is the only realm is ignorant. And so what I've seen, I wouldn't, put it as, Marvin the Martian kind of thing. But I do believe that this is more spiritual. And if you really want to go there, demonic.
So Nephilim are here, and we are also creators or makers.
This is a clip from the #1 most listened to women's podcast in the world.
Kiss them the first date, fucking sleep with them the first night. Like, you have to go based on what feels good to your body. If you have some fucking friends that are prudes that are like, you should never kiss on the first date. Maybe for you, Cassandra, but I'm about to let him in my back door.
I'm going to start this off by saying, if you think they control the news and other media, what do you think they're doing to the most listened to media in the world? This idea that you should just do what feels good is the worst way you could possibly live your life, and it's the reason that most people are fat, single, and depressed. Being happy and healthy requires having self-control, discipline, and commitment. You get into a healthy relationship by honoring your body and not sleeping with everyone you see. You get a healthy body by not eating every donut and cookie that's in front of your face. The reason men and women are so unhealthy is because they choose what feels good in the short term over ultimate fulfillment in the long term. Anything worth achieving in life takes patience and sacrifice, and if you don't have those traits, you will never be happy.
I agree for the most part. I do believe we are being led astray as well.
Woody Harrelson had that monologue on SNL.
So the movie goes like this. The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes, and people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over. I threw the script away. I mean, who is going to believe that crazy idea?
Right after it, the next day, there's all these hit pieces calling him an anti-vaxxer and a stoner when he makes that joke and he talks about them buying all the media, and then all the media responds as if they've been bought and paid for. That's pretty wild.
Vean, ahí están los aviones. Parte de arriba, pueden observar el objeto allá al fondo.
And it's actually 4 individual or whatever it is, like, it's actually a bunch of individual lights.
Wow, it's just wild that things like that remain visible. If Tartaria is anything like people are portraying it to be, it sounds fascinating.
I actually had a conversation with Chris and said, who were you talking to back then when you were writing this stuff? Because, I mean, honestly, look at all the stuff that's come to fruition in the present day. And the possibility of aliens and everything else, and government conspiracies and deep states and all that stuff. He knew something that's none of the rest of us do, for sure.
That's for sure. But I think that was just the tip of the iceberg, really.
What is it? It's a person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over. No. It's a person standing there.
No, it's not.
Dude, have you seen what I've seen right now?
Dude, it's a person. It's hard to imagine the difference in the cultures between these ancient times and now.
We're at 600 RPM, 3 coils, 75 volts. Everything's running very smooth. We've had it going for an hour now. Flip-flop is working beautifully. Excited to show you guys what we've been up to. It's come a long way, and it's not just this. It's also the solid state, bench top, no moving parts. Everything's coming together, you guys. Limitless potential technologies. All of you, all of our tech, limitless potential.
I hope that's genuine. And honestly, I think with the internet, we have to eventually come across it, right?
When scaled Mandarin, he was a skull the day he was born.
That's Frank.
Who's Frank?
The 6-foot tall buying man. What Rick is gonna kill? Oh.
Yes, yes, it is.
Today I want to talk to you about the inverse square law and what that has to do with the stars. Let's go! The professional guessers at NASA tell us that the closest star to Earth is Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri is a very distant 25 trillion miles away from Earth. Now, before we go any further, I want to ask you, do you know how long 1 trillion seconds is? You guessed it. 1 trillion seconds is 31,709 years. 25 trillion seconds is 792,745 years. So to put that in perspective, if you were to travel 1 mile every second, it would take you 792,745 years just to get to Proxima Centauri. Now, since we have a pretty good understanding on how vast of a distance 25 trillion miles is, I want to talk about the inverse square law of light. In physics, the inverse square law of light states that when you double your distance, the intensity of the light source is 1/4 of what it was at your original distance. If you triple the original distance, it is 1/9 the original intensity. If you go 10 times further away than what you originally started, the intensity of the source would be 1/100th of the original intensity. Because light, no matter what the source is shaped like, spreads out over distance. This same exact law applies to radiation. So, taking these laws of physics into consideration, do you really think we would still be able to see the light of the stars at that distance? Do you think the light from that distance would be intense enough to be weakened at such an accelerated rate and still be observable here on Earth? And that's just the closest star. Mintaka, a star in Orion's belt, is 1,239 light years away from Earth. 1 light year is 5.88 trillion miles, so that puts Mintaka a total of 7.2 quadrillion miles away from Earth. I mean, honestly, does it make more sense that the light from these stars and the light and radiation from the sun defy all laws of physics? Or does it make more sense that the sun and stars are much closer than what NASA tells us? Just think about it.
You know, I remember asking a lot of these kinds of questions in college, and the professors would always reply with something like, "It's just the way it is." I never understood that.
Breaking news. Every mainstream fast food chain in America was just tested for, and this could be applied to Canada and Mexico probably too, massive amounts of glyphosate. These are the parts per billion of glyphosate found in every single one of these restaurants. Do not eat at any of them, man. I don't miss going to, which of one of these have I even been to? I guess Dairy Queen like 15 years ago, Domino's probably 10 years ago or longer. It's all poison. Completely poison. And Panera Bread tested the worst. Their whole grain bagel had 677 parts per billion. You may be wondering, what's the significance of the PPB and all this? Well, glyphosate is the chemical that a French scientist administered to rats. And by the third generation, the rats had horrific, let's just say, growths all over them and were completely infertile. And obviously it lowered the testosterone of the male rats as well. So it's a potent endocrine disruptor. And also there's already been billions in settlements for people suing Bayer, who makes glyphosate, for poisoning them. So start with voting with our dollars by not funding any of these toxic food chains.
That'll be all today.